Yeah. Hello. Today's topic is life cycle of Cara. This is the first semester of botany. This is the topic of first semester of botany. And this topic will deal about the systematic position of Cara, where the Cara is chlorophycean algal member. It belongs to division Chlorophyta, class Chlorophyceae, order Careae, family Cariaceae, genus Cara. This is freshwater green alga. It's a freshwater green alga which is present in the stagnant freshwater. Mostly they are in a group. These Cara members of Cara, they are present in the freshwater ponds, pools, and lakes just as a mass. They these species are present in the stagnant water, freshwater stagnant water. The plant parts are encrusted with calcium carbonate and silica, so they are also called stoneworts. This is represented by about 90 species. They are present in the freshwater bodies. Coming to the structure of vegetative structure of the plant. This is example for filamentous chlorophycean member. It is little bit advanced than the lowest chlorophycean member like Volvox and Chlamydomonas. In this vegetative structure, the plant body shows the filamentous form. At the base of the axis, there are rhizoids which are branched, and they are multicellular branched, and they show oblique septa. They are colorless. They help in the anchorage of the this they help in the anchorage of the plant. The plant body is multicellular macroscopic. It is also filamentous branches structure. It has a main axis at the center. It shows nodes and internodes. At the nodal region, there are a cluster of leaf-like structures are present. They are branches of limited growth. They act as vegetative leaves. They also have 4 to 6 nodes. In the axil of these branches of limited growth, there are branches of unlimited growth. So they arise in the axil of these cluster-like branches of limited growth. So these branches of unlimited growth, they bear the sex organs like antheridium and ovonium. So at the internodal region, it is completely encrusted with the calcium carbonate and silica. So the outward appearance of this plant body is very rough. So it is also called stonewort due to the deposition of calcium carbonate and silica. At the lower end of the stem, they are branched multicellular, uniseriate, oblique, separate rhizoids are present. They don't have any nodes and internodes. So they arise from rhizoidal plates. They help in the fixation of the plant. Sometimes they are attached to the um, pelagic. They may be attached to the rocks and also in the lower part of the um, freshwater body. So this main axis, which is present at the center, it is erect, it is straight, erect, branch, shows nodes and internodes. The internodes are very long and single cellular. So internode is not having, it is completely a single cell structure enveloped by corticating thread-like structures. That means uh, some of the branches which are arising from the branches of unlimited growth, they arise and they cover the internodal region like thread-like structures called corticating threads. Their nodes are very short and they are regularly arranged cells. They bear branches. These branches, which are arising from the nodal region, are called branches of limited growth. They are also comparable to the leaf or primary laterals, they can be called. So they are short laterals. So from this axis, from the uh, branches of limited growth, the branches of unlimited growth are long laterals are formed. So these branches of limited growth are primary laterals. are also called leaves or branchlets. They arise from peripheral cells of the node. They show limited growth. So this limited number they have limited number of nodes and internodes. They are short and unicellular branches. Uh, from these branches of limited growth, there is some branches. They are called secondary laterals. So these branches of limited growth, which are present at the nodal region, at the base they have stickule-like structures, spinous stickule-like structures. So they bear fertile branches. They bear sex organs. They are also called branches of unlimited growth. These branches of unlimited growth, they are also called long laterals. They arise from axils of primary laterals, which are present at the nodal region in the form of a hole. So they are present around the node in the form of a hole-like structures. So from the axil of these primary laterals or leaves, the branches of unlimited growth are arising singly. They show unlimited growth. That means they show indefinitely. They grow indefinitely. They have nodes and internodes, and also the cortication. So they bear a primary laterals also. Coming to the structure of uh, cells present in the filamentous structure of the plant body. At the nodal region, in that internodal region, the cells show the variations in their internal structure also. The nodal region, the cells are, there are two types of cells at the apex and at the node. So there is difference. The apical cell is dome shaped, which is different from the other cells. At the apex and at the nodes, the cells are having the same similar type of structure. They are small and isodiametric. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. Inner to the cell wall, there is plasma membrane. Inside at the center, there is a vacuole. The cytoplasm is pushed towards the periphery in the form of a layer. So it is present just below the plasma membrane. This cytoplasm contains granules. So there is a nucleus which is located centrally. There are numerous discoid, evenly distributed chloroplasts with chlorophyll A, B, carotenoids, and xanthophyll pigments. Since it is a chlorophyll member, the pigments which are present in this plant is mainly chlorophylls. But the reserve food is not present in the pyrenoids. So no, there are no pyrenoids. The chloroplast is without pyrenoids in case of this uh, cell present in this plant. The reserve food is in the form of a starch only, but it is not present in the pyrenoids. The pyrenoids are absent in case. It's a very important character regarding this plant cara. So there are chloroplasts, discoid chloroplasts with chlorophylls, but there is no pyrenoid. So in the internodal cells, they are elongated cells. That is the completely a single-like structure is single cell structure. It is internode. It is also having the outermost cell wall made up of cellulose. Inner to the cell wall there is plasma membrane. Inner to is there is the cytoplasm which is present just below the plasma membrane. The central um, protein bodies and the vacuole is present. The central part is occupied with a large vacuole, so the cytoplasm is pushed towards the peripheral region of the cell, just below the plasma membrane. Inside the cytoplasm, there are many discoid chloroplasts, disc-like chloroplasts are present. These chloroplasts are having chlorophylls, but no pyrenoids are present. So these chloroplasts which are present in this cytoplasm are they are numerous and longitudinally arranged. So the peripheral stationary layer is called exoplasm. Inner fluid is called endoplasm. Here, the movement of cytoplasm takes place by cyclosis. The, Here, the cellulose cell wall material mainly of cellulose. In addition to the cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, pectin, mucilage, and here the internodal lesion. One more thing to be remembered is the outer wall, which is having the cellulose cell wall, is again having the deposition of silica and calcium carbonate, so it becomes rough. Uh, so it is impregnated with this calcium carbonate and silica, so it is it is rough. The surface is rough, so the name got the stonewort to this name. The plant got the name stonewort. So internal cell unsheathed by elongated corticating threads. So they are arising from the branches of unlimited growth. These threads they grow and they cover the entire internodal region. So these thread-like structures they completely cover this internodal region. So these threads are corticating threads, and we'll call these corticating threads. These threads are consisting so many smaller cells. Uh, so these corticated thread-like structures are arising. They are from the upper internode, and the half is originating from the lower internode. So coming to the reproduction in Thara, there are two types of reproductions in this plant: vegetative reproduction and sexual reproduction. This vegetative reproduction is by the amylum stars, bulbils, secondary protonema and primary protonema. These amylum stars are nothing but star-shaped aggregates of vegetative cells. So they are formed by the storage of the food material. These star-like structures are formed in the in the vegetative cells. So they are present in the lower nodes. They store reserve food material. When these stars are detached from the parent cell, they undergo divisions to form into new plant. Similarly, there are bulbils which are arising from the rhizoids. So these bulbils are nothing but storage bud-like structures which are arising from the multicellular rhizoids. These bulbils, when they are detached from the parent plant, they'll undergo germination and develop into new plants. So there are some branch-like structures which are arising from this stem, that is axis, this protonema, branches of unlimited growth. So these primary protonema from these secondary protonema like structures, they are undergoing divisions and they become a new plant. These are bulbils are small rounded tuber-like structures developed in the rhizoids. The secondary protonema, they are arising from the nodes or rhizoids. They may be from the nodal region or the rhizoid region. So they are small green thread-like structures which undergo further divisions to form into nodes and internode having the axis of Cara. Coming to the important reproduction present in this plant is sexual reproduction. Sex organs are antheridium and oogonium. There is advanced type of sexual reproduction, that is oogamous type of reproduction is seen here, where the non-motile ovum fertilized by the motile anthrozoids. So in this oogamous type, the sex organs involved are two types. Male reproductive structures are called antheridium. The female reproductive structures are called oogonium. So the male reproductive structures are sex organs or antheridia. Here in this plant, they can be called as globules, which are round in shape, spherical. The female sex organs are also called oogonia. In this plant, it is called nucleus. The plants may be homothallic or heterothallic. That means these nucleus and globule, they may be present on the same plant. In case of homothallic species, uh, they may heterothallic species, they may be present in the different plants. Nucleus always above the globule. That means wherever it is present, both the structures are present. Nucleus is present above, just above the globule. That is above the antheridium only. Oogonium is present. This is a globule, spherical structure, which is present just below the nucleus or female reproductive structure. This globule is also called antheridium. It has outer shield cells. Extending from this, there are manubrial cells. From each manubrial cell, primary capillary cells are arising, which are four. From these primary capillary cells, secondary capillary cells are arising. From the capillary cells, some filamentous structures are arising. They are called antheridial filaments. So this antheridial filament is having 1 to 20 cells. From each cell, from each cell, single anthrozoid is developing. This each anthrozoid is spirally coiled with two cilia for motility. So biciliate spiral anthrozoids are produced in large number. So they are red or bright orange colored structures. They have a stalk-like structure, very short. The outer wall is made up of shield cells enclosed in an internal cavity. So this during the development of this globule or antheridium, it takes place from this antheridium develops from the superficial cell of the branches of unlimited growth. So this superficial cell which is present on the uh, branches of unlimited growth, they undergo divisions to produce uh, first four cells. Later, the transverse division occurs, resulting in the formation of upper four and lower four cells. So this is they respectively they are called quadrant stage and octant stage. After the formation of octant stage, there is periclinal division is occurring, resulting in the formation of three layers. Outer shield cells, the outer layer is made up of shield cells, middle layer is made up of manubrium, inner layer is made up of primary capitular cells. So these primary capitular cells, again they give rise to secondary capitular cells, which from each cell of this secondary capital cells, certain hair-like filamentous structures are arising. They are called uh, the antheridial filaments. This antheridial filament is made up of 1 to 200 cells. From each cell, a single androzoid is formed. So this is also called the thread-like structure is also called antheridial filament is also called spermatogenous filaments, which produces androzoids. These androzoids are spiral with two cilia. So during fertilization, this outer shield cells they move apart, and the filamentous, the antheridial filament, which has um, antheridial anthrozoids, they will come out. They are also called androcytes. They are biflagellated biciliate anthrozoids, elongated spirally. There is another structure called oogonium, or female reproductive structure, also called nucleus. It is barrel-shaped, green in color. It has the barrel-shaped structure has a stalk, and the body is covered by five rings of cells, which are covering the twisted around this barrel-shaped structure, which at the tip they form coronary cells. So in homothallic species, nucleus is always above the globule. There are tube cells which cover which is spirally twisted cover except at the tip. So these tube cells they end with the corona cells at the tip. They are also developing. There is an egg or ovum present in this oogonium. Single egg is present, which is uninucleate, which is non-motile, rich of food material, soil drops, and starch grains. It has a receptive spot at the tip of the egg, which is hyaline. So during the development of this oogonium also, the branches of unlimited growth, adaxial cell of the branches of unlimited growth, it undergoes division to form into a row of three cells, upper, middle, and lower cell. The basal cell is called a stalk cell, which forms a stalk without any division. The middle cell develops into tubular cells. The upper cell, the topmost cell, which forms into ogonial cell. So these tube cells they divide and form into five cells, which which are spirally twisted around this ogonium. They end in coronary cells. So during fertilization, which is the fusion is by oogamous method. During fertilization, numerous biflagellate androzoids are liberated outside. when the shield cells of this globule they move apart, when the shield cells are ruptured, the mass of the anthrozoids they will be liberated out. With these anthrozoids, which are biflagellated, they swim they swim towards the oogonium, where the coronary cells they move apart. When the coronary cells of nucleus move apart, these androzoids they enter many androzoids they enter into the oogonium, where though many androzoids enter into the oogonium, only one androzoid they fertilize one androzoid fertilizes the non-motile ovum, which is haploid in nature, results in the formation of zygote. The tube cells elongate near at the tip, form a neck, narrow central slit in the coronary cells, which initiates the opening of the oogonium and helps the passage of anthrozoids into the oogonium. So only one penetrates the wall. So the only one enters into this oogonium and fuses with the egg to form into zygote. So this zygote, which is formed in the oogonium, it is having certain resting period. Only after that it undergoes um, division during germination. So in the zygote, which is diploid in nature, which is formed after the fertilization, it undergoes first meiosis and produces four haploid nuclei. And there is a transverse division which forms into two cells, distal small cell, the lower large cell. That is, the cell which is large at the base has three haploid nuclei which will be disintegrated. The cell which is having the one functional nucleus which undergoes division and produces division produces filamentous structures. Later, from this primary protonema like thread-like structures and this cell which is small, it undergoes division to form rhizoidal initial cell and the protonema initial cell. This rhizoidal cell which is colorless and grows into multicellular branched rhizoids with oblique septa. The one which is the protonema 1, which is having chloroplast, it undergoes division um, to form into primary thread-like, primary protonema-like structures from the cells of primary protonema cells, secondary protonema thread-like structures are arising. They are developing into the main axis, uh, which in the form of nodes and internodes. Later, from the nodal region, branches of limited growth. From the axilla of this branches of unlimited growth are arising. That completes the formation of the para vegetative structure. This This is the development of our germination of the zygote, where the zygote, which is present in the um, nucleus, the oogonium, it has a diploid nucleus, which undergoes meiosis, reductional division to form the four haploid nuclei, which results in the formation of small lenticular and large basal cell. The basal cell disintegrating along with the nuclei. The one which is present uh, at the upper region has a single lenticular cell which is having a haploid nucleus, which undergoes division to form a rhizoidal initial or protonema initial. The protonema initial undergoes divisions to form into nodes and internodes having structure. This is primary protonema. The one rhizoidal cell which grows towards Earth or it grows downwards and becomes the primary rhizoid, which later on divides by further division to form multicellular branch rhizoids. The one which is above, which is primary protonema, has nodes and internodes. These from the nodes, secondary rhizoids are arising, and these nodal region again the protonemal filament is arising with nodes and internodes, which results in the formation of axis with nodes and internodes at the nodal region, branches of limited growth and branches of unlimited growth, results in the formation of the complete Cara vegetative structure. So this is the life cycle of this Cara shows the life cycle of Cara is also haplotypic life cycle in which zygote is the only diploid stage in the life cycle. Remaining stages are all are in haploid nature only. Uh, so most of the time the plant lives in haploid conditions. So the life cycle of Cara is also called haplontic or haploid life cycle. So this about the structure and reproduction present in the haploid life cycle present in the Cara, which is a chlorophycean member.